What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Life of Man Network's Fantasycast. This is part 2 of our special with Porkman from the Dynasty Rewind. Today we're going to be talking about sits and starts for Week 6. Try and fill in those flex spots. Let's try to win some games. Let's try to win some championships. So until we get into that, please, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Go to the Dynasty Rewind. Get all your Dynasty content from them. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let's get this going. We're going to go over sits. QB right away, I'm going the whole Saints quarterbacks, the whole roster. I don't care who starts. They're playing against Cincinnati. Cincinnati has a decent defense to give quarterbacks fits. Saints may look for revenge for Eli Apple kind of thing, but I don't think they're ready. I think they're going to slow the ball up, give it to Alvin Kamara. They're mixing Taysom Hill in. I think it's hard to trust either of those quarterbacks right now until we see it. So,
yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Super flex, I'm not starting either of them.
I think this might be just an obvious sit. The Panthers literally have no quarterbacks at this point. Baker has a high ankle sprain. Sam is still hurt, and now we're relegated to PJ Walker. PJ Walker's he's an okay quarterback, but they're playing the Rams. And Aaron Donald is literally probably going to be in his face all day. He's not going to have really much time to throw. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey is the top corner on the Rams. He's not going to be able to throw the ball so much to DJ Moore, so he's going to have to rely on Robbie Anderson. Nah, I mean, you're probably going to have to pick up PJ Walker in Superflex leagues. But I just wouldn't start him this week. This is a bad week to start him at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get into running backs. The first guy that I'm not going to start is going to be James Robinson versus Indiana this week. He's getting 11.5 points projected. His snaps are down the past few weeks. He's only scored between 2 and 5 points 2-3 weeks in a row. Involving ETN a little more. Indiana doesn't have a bad run defense. So I want to go ahead and sit J-Rob until they figure out that snap share. It looks like we said they're struggling, and it looks like they want to get ETN involved. So yeah, I want to see him get going again before I start him again.
But I kind of don't really want to start Najee against the Buccaneers. That run defense is crazy. Devin White is always in the hole in the backfield, just causing havoc all week. If you have another option, go for it. Obviously, if you don't have another option on the bench that could possibly give you some, upside for the week, I would possibly think about putting him in. They're going to cause Pickett fits. They're going to cause Najee fits all game. And I think that's just a situation to where I don't think I want to put him in and give you 4 points, 3 points during the whole game, because they're probably gonna have to throw the ball all day. So he's a sit for me, and that's unfortunately, this is a situation that we're in right now with that offense.
Singletary or Najee?
I would start Singletary against Najee. I forgot who they're playing against the Chiefs.
Oh, against Singletary.
I would probably start Singletary against the Chiefs. Okay. To be honest with you,
is that around where your crazy line is?
Yeah, to be honest, because I'm a big Singletary fan. He gets the targets, and he's getting targets and carries. He's probably the 3-down back on that team. He didn't do as much this past week because they just boat raced.
They were chucking it, and then they got their backups
so
in.
far.
Yeah.
James Cook scored a touchdown. It was just one of them games.
I guess we move on to wide receivers.
For sits.
I'm going with a big name here. I'm going to go ahead and sit Keenan Allen versus Denver if he plays. Keenan Allen is one of those guys that he'll come back from an injury. He'll come back not like the way it feels in the first 2 plays, and then you won't see him the rest of the game. So Keenan Allen, I'm not going to risk it yet until he gives us a full game. So go ahead and don't risk it if he plays.
Ooh, this one's a toughie. I think in this aspect, I'm going with a big guy too. I'm going to sit Amari Cooper this week against the Patriots. Patriots defense is starting to come around. Jacoby Brissett was drafted by Bill Belichick. I think he knows everything that this man does.
Everything. He knows what he has for breakfast.
Yes, he does. So I think in this case, Amari Cooper is going to have one of his inconsistent weeks this week. I believe the rookie cornerback Josh Jones, he's been balling out this year. I think he's their cornerback one on that team. I think he's pretty much going to be pretty much on Amari all day. And like I said, Jacoby Brissett, he's going to be he's pretty much going to get locked down by Bill Belichick. He knows, like I said, he knows what he does.
Right.
He was drafted by him years ago, and this is one of them games to where, unfortunately, Amari is not going to do his Amari things that he's been doing this year. He's actually been playing pretty well on a consistent basis, but in this case, I don't want any parts of Amari this week when this comes to starting him.
It was a start for me last week, but yeah, I can agree with you this week. New England has a habit of locking down a team's best player, and it could be Amari Cooper they keep their eyes on.
You're right.
So another wide receiver sit is this is gonna be an obvious one. It should be by now. Is Allen Robinson? Stop trying to sneak him into your flex spot. Just
stop forcing it, bro.
I'm done. I know where you drafted him. I know what we expected. No, he's projected to score 9 points. I don't even know if he does that. I'm done. Don't start Allen Robinson.
Please don't.
He's back into the league in separation. It's not happening.
It's crazy as heck. He's not. It's just Cooper Kupp was getting like literally like 30 to 40% target share.
30 to 40 targets.
And no, for real. It's crazy as heck. Allen Robinson, he's past his prime.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over, unfortunately. I know my best friend, he loves Allen Robinson. I was like, you can have him. I really don't want him. He thought he was going to ball out, and then nothing at all.
Oh, I was a truther. Now I'm done.
Wide receiver, I think I'm going to put Gallup on there. I know he's been running a lot of routes, but I think he's still sit for me. Even if CeeDee Lamb has Slay on him, Gallup is going to have James Bradbury on him. He's still one of the top corners in the league, and I don't think that he's going to be able to give you one of those top weeks. Our Eagles secondary has been really, really good this year.
Right.
When it comes down to safety play and cornerback play up top. And I don't know I'm not too sure if Dak will be back or if it's Cooper Rush. Still obviously don't know between the injury and now. Jerry Jones acted like he was a doctor and he said he'll be back next week. It's a goofball, but it's your owner.
Right. All right.
But I would say definitely buying Michael Gallup, but not for this week.
Right.
I think he's going to be pretty much locked down back there.
Same.
And even if it's Cooper or Dak.
Yeah. I have him written down. He's projected to score 10 points. He's averaging like 9 points since he's back. But with Cooper Rush at quarterback, Cooper Rush just got by this past week scoring 3.9 fantasy points. He threw for like 120 yards. They won the game. Gallup, wait till Dak's back. And speaking of wait till Dak's back, we'll get the tight ends here. Sits Dalton Schultz versus Philadelphia.
Yes.
He's projected to score like 7 points. He tweaked his knee last week. Only got 3 targets. Not interested in Dalton Schultz until Dak is back.
Yeah, I want you on that one as well.
Play Ingram or like Disley. Play one of those guys over Schultz this week.
Disley has been getting you. He's been really touchdown dependent, but he's getting a touchdown, so he might as well just ride it out. I feel like saying sit Kyle Pitts is like
he's my second
a Twitter thing to say, but he hasn't done anything,
right?
And he's so freaking good, but they're kind of wasting his talent with Mariota, and I know Drake London is there too, but you have to sit Kyle Pitts until we see it.
Right.
Unfortunately, I know you drafted him in probably the third or fourth round in your drafts, which was already a mistake. But we haven't seen it. Like we said, we know we saw last year was good, but he had Matt Ryan throwing the ball last year. At least he was forcing the ball to him. Now they're barely throwing the ball, and when they're doing it, the targets aren't accurate at all. So this is one of the things to where just sit them until you see something.
Yep.
Until maybe if they make a quarterback change, maybe Ritter will be better at that. But even then, I'm still not the biggest fan of Desmond Ritter. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kyle Pitts. We all know he was drafted with 4th overall. He's just in a bad spot right now.
Yeah, I say sell him if you can.
Yeah, you if you can. I did see in Dynasty. I did see it was like a package. It was a Pitts and a Kelsey package. Like one team was rebuilding, the other team was win now. Obviously, with the Kelsey, it's freaking 4 touchdowns a day, 27 yards.
I got him in
But yeah, me too. I got him somewhere in there. But yeah, it's you gotta. I'm sorry, you just gotta wait. It hurts.
Right. We'll get a rundown starts, and that'll be the wrap up. Looking at quarterbacks, you mentioned him earlier. I'm looking at Jimmy G versus Atlanta. He's projected to score 20 points, and I think Jimmy G is a fine option in your superflex this week. I think he's going to score points versus Atlanta like everybody else does, and they'll close out the game by running the ball.
Yeah, big facts. I agree with that.
I think he'll come out, get his 2 touchdowns, and you'll get your points.
You do the same thing. Yeah. I think I'm going to start. I like I said, we were talking about these guys earlier. I'm gonna start Geno.
Yep.
I'm gonna start until the wheels fall off against Arizona. Same. Arizona, they had a really good defensive game this year. I mean, this past week, even though they did lose, they gave up 20 points. But Geno has literally been balling out from week to week. 75% completion percentage, pretty much 2 touchdowns a game. Like I said earlier, he has DK, he has Tyler Lockett. Until I see him play like New York Jet Geno, I'm going to play Seattle Seahawk Geno and ride till the wheels fall off and keep it going that way. He's literally balling out. Quarterback 1 on the season right now through 4 weeks is wild.
He's averaging past 3 weeks. He's averaging about 28 points a game. So
yeah, that sounds nuts.
That's wild. That's Patrick Mahomes numbers.
It is.
So get into running backs. A couple running backs to start. We talked about him earlier. If James Conner doesn't play, I'm looking at Eno Benjamin. You got Darrell Williams, who's banged up, might not even play. They're playing against Seattle, whose defense isn't great. They make some plays, but they allow some yardage. They allow some points. He's projected to score 10.5 points. He's averaging 4 targets a game with Conner in the game. I think that's going to increase if Eno Benjamin's going to be the top dog.
I agree totally. Eno's that guy. He's like you said, if Conner is out, he's going to be the guy to still put up production and get PPR as well. Kyler's going to need him. And if they don't have a Darrell Williams, they don't have a James Conner, they're not going to trust Keontae Ingram, who's an undrafted free agent. He was drafted barely, but they have they do believe in him. He has a little juice out the backfield. He might get you a solid maybe 12, 13 points, maybe if he gets you a touchdown. I can take that.
Right.
I'm running back start this week. If my friend listens to this, he's going to tell me I'm a fraud. But I always make jokes with him. If David Montgomery is healthy, I'm starting David Montgomery against the Commanders. That defense is freaking horrible. Even if they have all that talent on the defensive line, they still happen to give up a bunch of yards to running backs. And I think David Montgomery can give you a solid week this week. We know Chicago refuses to throw the ball. So they're gonna just pound the ball down your throat all day, and probably make the Commanders 1-5, and Montgomery will probably have about 100 yards and a touchdown, maybe two. But even if Montgomery wasn't there, my start of the week would have been Khalil Herbert because
Right.
he balls out too.
Right.
So I just think it's just like this is a matchup dependent week, and I think David Montgomery's gonna have a really good week this week. He looked pretty quick last week too, from what I saw. It didn't look like he was laboring over any of his injuries. I know he didn't have that many yards, but that was just that offense is horrible. But Washington's defense is horrible as well too. So
yeah, with that, he was one of my hot takes for the season. I said he was going to be a back end running back one on the season. The injury kind of set him back. The start of the season set him back a little bit, but I think on a points per game basis, I think that's still possible. He's still a really good running back, and he's running hard. They may split carries at some point, but if he stays healthy, he's going to be good.
Big time.
Another running back start for me is going to be Kenneth Walker. Make sure you get Kenneth Walker into your lineup. Kenneth Walker is taking over for Rashad Penny. They're playing against Arizona, who can be run on. He's involved in the passing game. He's projected to score 12 points, and he's already getting 6.5 yards per carry. So I'm all about that. 2.5 targets per game. That's going to increase. I think Kenneth Walker's about to explode.
Yeah, he is. No more Penny. Walker is going to be that guy. We know Pete Carroll loves to run the ball just consistently. He's going to get the ball. He's going to catch. He's probably going to get a lot of the receptions out of the backfield too. Not really trusting too much of the DJ Dallas and the Travis Homers of the world.
Homer
taking too much of his target share. And yeah, I'm 100% on Kenneth Walker. I loved him. He was pretty much 1A and 1B with me with Breece Hall coming out this year. I think he has all the talent in the world.
Yeah.
Second running back, I think I'm gonna go a little bit homerish pick and say Miles Sanders. I think they're going to be looking to rush the passer a lot, which will open up a lot of those running lanes in between. And I think we saw with Miles Sanders with these last 2 weeks is that he's not scared to run with power and run really well in between the tackles. So I think this is one of the things where we're going to have to try to run the ball down their throat. And I think this is the perfect running back and this perfect matchup for him to do so this week. We all know Micah Parsons comes out through the outside and rush the passer. Hopefully, that's something that the Miles Sanders can capitalize on and get a touchdown and maybe like 80 yards and get some receptions and definitely be a good start for the team this week.
Right, might make it hard for AJ Brown, Devontae Smith to get open because of that pass rush getting to him so quick. So you're gonna have to look down,
right,
get past that pass rush. So I like it. Let's talk about wide receivers. We talked about him earlier. I'm starting Jacoby Myers versus Cleveland. He's projected to score 12 points. He's averaging 17.5 points per game. He's getting 9 targets per game. He's the man in this offense. He's the one all the quarterbacks trust. Go ahead and play Jacoby Myers. I think he's almost matchup proof.
Yeah, he is. He's like
at least in your flex,
definitely matchup.
You can.
Yeah.
There's far worse players you can put in your flex week to week. Every week, play Myers.
No, you ain't lying about that one. I kind of want to base this off of if he's going to play this week for the Saints. I was going to start Chris Olave again. He had a weird touchdown this past week, which doesn't really look like a touchdown, but hey, it counted for fantasy, so I'll take it. But he's been getting target shares. I know it was one game he had 300 air yards, which sounded outrageous.
Insane.
It's insane, but he got it. They're looking for him, even if it's Dalton or Winston. He's been the wide receiver one on that team. I know Michael Thomas has been hurt, but even with Michael Thomas on the field, they're still looking for him to throw the ball. So I'm still going to start him this week against the Bengals because people totally just disrespect Eli Apple.
Yep.
Every time he's on the field, they're just going to try to toast him all day. he got toasted bad yesterday.
Just run him on a
But Lamar
fly
just
every.
missed him. Yeah, just go straight. Just run, do a little double move, something real
Yeah.
quick, and go.
Give him Deontay
Um,
Harris for the first half, and then the second half, put Olave out there and just
yep,
burn him.
and cook them. But yeah, Olave for me. I'm an Ohio State fan, so I'm a ride out with my Ohio State boys.
Second wide receiver for me is going to be Higgins. Is banged up right now,
Hmm.
so I think you can go ahead and play Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd already has a role in this offense. He's been a wide receiver one before. He's got the talent. So I think if Higgins doesn't play, that's going to open up Boyd for some more receptions against New Orleans. Chase is going to see a lot of Marshawn Lattimore. He's only expected to score 10 points. So I think he can get that because he's already averaging 10.5 points a game. So I think Boyd can do that if he's the wide receiver two on the team. And I think any touchdown is going to be a bonus.
I totally agree with that one. My next guy, it's a little bit off the cuff a little bit. It's just a lot of what I saw last week was a little bit promising. He's finally healthy. I'm gonna go with Rondale Moore from the Cardinals. Um, he had 68 yards. He had 8 targets and 7 receptions last week. And he showed that explosiveness that I saw in Purdue, the explosiveness that I saw from the combine. I know he's small, but the guy can freaking go. And if he can go against that offense, I'm sorry, against that defense, against the Seahawks, I think Rondell Moore, offset of Hollywood Brown, I think he can get you a good week and possibly get you a touchdown because they start seem like they're starting to integrate him into the offense a lot more.
Right.
There's what Greg Dortch was still there, but after a couple games, he's just non-existent. After
No.
Rondell Moore came back,
He's back down to about
which is
15% of snaps.
yeah, so he's not doing much. Andy Isabella was on the practice squad. He got signed by the Ravens today, so he's not there anymore.
Wesley got hurt.
So yeah, so it's slim pickings there. So I think I'm gonna go with a Rondell Moore. I like what I saw this past week, especially with 8 targets. 8 targets is pretty good.
He's playing
For
80%
a
of the
guy second
snaps
second game
for the
back.
first time in his
Yeah,
career as well. So,
yeah, and he's not hurt. So
right.
fingers crossed. I'm gonna go with Rondell Moore this week and see what he can do.
We're going into starts for tight end. Tight end, I think if you're struggling at tight end, 14 teams, I think I can go down to Evan Ingram. He scored 12.5 points this week versus Houston. He's getting 6 to 7 targets. I can go ahead and play Ingram. They're having trouble getting downfield. I think you're going to have Lawrence trying to get his self esteem back, so to speak, and Ingram's an athletic tight end. Ingram's playing against Indianapolis. I think the tight end can score some points against them. He's only expected to score 6.5 points. So if you're at the bottom of your roster, you're struggling at tight end. I think you can squeeze Ingram in there. I'm willing to play him over Pitts this week.
Yeah, and that sounds crazy.
Yep.
But it is what it is. It's just one of them things. My tight end start this week is going to be Hayden Hurst against the Saints. I know the Saints they rush the passer very very well, and he's going to have to get the ball out quick. We know Joe Burrow's been getting his past 2 years been hit bad every freaking week because the offensive line is just not protecting him. Hayden Hurst is a guy who's actually been helping him out this past year, and I've been liking what I've seen a lot. My friend Michael Bauer from Dynasty Rewind has been a big Hayden Hurst fan. Last week he has 6 receptions, 7 targets, 53 yards, and a touchdown. I know it's more of like a revenge game against the Ravens because they drafted him, but the route looked good, the touchdown looked good, and I think it's something they can build on. So against that defense, they need somebody who can help Joe out in a quick second with Cam Jordan coming off of one end, Marcus Davenport coming off the other end. He's going to need a security blanket, and I think Hayden Hurst
Yep.
might be able to get him some some receptions and some yards and possibly a touchdown. Well, I will pray for a touchdown this week for Hayden Hurst this week.
Especially if Higgins is going to be missing again.
Yes, Higgins. Yeah, because I think he has another. Was that concussion or ankle?
He had an ankle injury. He's day to day.
Ankle. Yeah, yeah. So let's
So,
pray for that. Hopefully he gets better. But if he's not there, then it's going to be a Boyd, Chase, and maybe a Hurst game.
yep. All right. So, is there anybody else you want to touch on, or is it?
I think we got everybody. To be honest,
Yeah.
we got a good pod tonight.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Laughing Man Network's Fantasy Cast. I want to thank Porkman for coming over from the Dynasty Rewind. If you want to tell them anything of what y'all got going on, or tell them where to find y'all.
You guys. So you can find us on YouTube, Dynasty Rewind. You can find us on patreon.com/Dynasty Rewind. That's where my guy Rod found me. We've been talking on there and having a good time. Um, and we do rookie stuff for coming rookie scouting that's coming up for the next year, so you can get all those get all those good times for the combine coming up, so we know who you're looking for. Good quarterbacks. I like to think that I'm good at scouting receivers a lot. This is one of my favorite things to do. So if you got any questions about scouting, you can hit me up on Twitter at ffporkman on there, and my guy Michael Bauer, Nate Christian, Chevanuni. We always on there. So if you ever have any questions on YouTube, you can send a comment. We do team audits and all that fun stuff. So just hit us up, and it's a good time. It's more of a family oriented type thing. So no question is a dumb question. Just ask, and we give you an answer.
Right. And that's why I like the Dynasty Rewind. So anybody out there listening, like and subscribe here. Go to the Dynasty Rewind, like and subscribe there, and get your help with Dynasty over there. Get your redraft over here. We work together here, and I want to thank them for helping me out today. I want to thank you, Porkman. So that's it, guys. We're gonna come back on Tuesday for your Week 7 waivers. So until then, good luck.